Okay, listen up. This is a PSA for all men. If you're not a man, keep scrolling. Come here. Come a little closer. You are not the prize. You are not the prize. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Harry had THC in her system. Oh.
I saw this about 3 days ago, and it pissed me off. You know why it pissed me off? Because of what I call systemic emotional abuse. Okay, systemic emotional abuse. All right, I experienced this for the duration of my formative years, well into my adulthood, and people as recently as 5 years ago tried to reinstitute that systemic emotional abuse. Okay, you wouldn't believe that, right? It's like, I'm in my 50s, and you know, it just was still on that bullshit from decades ago, like decades and whatnot. I didn't know what to say. I was flabbergasted and shit, quite honestly. The point I'm trying to make is this: these women, who share ethnic, uh, who share ethnicity. These women at this point don't even know they're doing it. Okay, they're just following programming and whatnot. Okay, I'm not saying this so that you can empathize, sympathize. I'm not saying this. I'm telling you this because I want you to be able to make an informed decision and whatnot about what you're going to allow in your life. Okay, and the effect it's going to have in your life. I want you to be clear about, making certain choices and whatnot when it comes to attempting to pair bond and shit, especially with one of these women, this type of woman that's embedded in our community and shit. There's so many platforms that are, roadblocks that are set up to, make you fail or whatnot. The ultimate goal is that you become a small cog in a big machine and whatnot. You're not allowed to spread your wings. And, the foundation of it is this compulsive emotional abuse, this systemic programming, social engineering that has been in place for, hundreds of years and shit, but more acutely and shit, probably about 3 or 4 decades now. Okay? I don't feel at this point in 2024 that there's a cure for these women and whatnot. I don't feel there's a cure. They can't understand basic common sense and whatnot. Social media hasn't really helped this shit. It's only exacerbated a narcissistic bubble that they live in and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna give you a very simple shit test you can give any woman. Okay? All you have to do is tell her no. Okay? Just tell her no and don't offer any explanation. I once did this while I was in college, and well, chaos ensued after I told the love of my life no. Okay? The chaotic, it was almost akin to a horror movie. The ending of a Hammer horror movie. Just pick one shit, okay? It was catastrophic and shit, for me at that time. When I had no guidance, no true guidance. And I grew up in a nuclear family and shit, okay, for the most part. I had access to both of my parents, okay? Now I won't go any further in this video about that personal bit of information. Maybe another video. But, my point is this, there's no cure for compulsive emotional abuse that black women engage in every fucking day. Okay? Every hour of every fucking day, every minute, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They can't do that. They don't see you as a human being. Okay? There's no way to get them to see you as a human being if they don't see you already. It's not about gaining their respect, or demonstrating any loyalty or fealty to them, not The whole ethnic loyalty thing is right out the window in our community and shit. We're, uh, black men have been accidentally bred to be uh, egalitarian and shit as far as peer bonding and shit, which is why you see a proliferation of interracial dating. You know, and I don't know what the statistics are, but they say that most black women are married to black men and shit. And, when I look at this clip and everything, and many other clips like it, I feel like there's just a lot of men just suffering in silence and whatnot. It's time to stop being silent, okay? It's time to stop being silent and shit. Women are gonna hear this shit and tell you you're being defiant. They'll use code words like sassy, you know, say you're non-masculine and shit. And how is someone that was born with a hole down there gonna tell you what is and what isn't masculine when not a 1 ounce of testosterone that's ever ran through their bodies and shit? And they don't understand that they are responsible for the men they complain about and whatnot. She says that men aren't the prize and whatnot, but she's sitting here in a disguise and whatnot. We're not looking at her true countenance and whatnot. I don't see a confident woman sitting in her rental car, doing a supposed PSA to all men and shit. She doesn't know all men. She doesn't know what it is to be a man. Okay? She doesn't even know what it is to be a woman because she's not presenting her true self. She's sitting here with a mask on and a wig, and some clothes that are supposed to make her sexually alluring to us watching and whatnot. We're supposed to, in her limited range of emotional clarity and shit. We are supposed to be sitting here with the fucking boner, looking at her, wishing that we could, have sex with her and whatnot. That's how she presents. Okay, she's not sitting there. We never really see our women sitting on these TikTok videos, reading books or doing anything intelligent, but they tout their intelligence and their degrees to us all the time. I have this and I'm a business owner. Well, if you have that using common sense and logic, why is the black community in the condition that it is? If you're the mothers and the fathers and the black men all ran away and they made your babies mamas and ran away, but you're, the most intelligent and most educated, yet the most oppressed for some reason. We have full representation in 2024 across the board in every platform and whatnot. There is a black female representative and shit. What passes is what the minority majority and shit. What they falsely point to as far as representation. Black men are nothing more than, bootlegs and simps and closeted people of the rainbow community and shit. Complete employees and shit. I don't want to call anyone an op per se. Shit, we know who those people are and whatnot, and they're so bad at their job that we just know it and whatnot. They feel like they've gotten a huge number. They feel that black women, misandrous, bitter black women, have done such a good job that they don't have to hide anything or be coy in any way, strategically coy and shit. For instance, like when you try to get a misandrist black woman to take accountability for bad decisions and she acts like you're not even talking to her and shit. Okay? There's a reason that I opened my commentary by telling you that I had experienced this for decades since my childhood. And I do mean my early childhood, like from a single digit age into my adulthood and shit. And I was gone for a period of time and was obliged to return to my hometown. And I discovered that it had gotten worse in my absence and whatnot, that these female life forms were unable to recognize that I was the elder statesman of this supposed community and shit, and completely governed by logic and shit. After a while, me being me and everything, I thought that, I say, hey, if you're not going to take this serious, I'm not going to take this serious. I'm sitting there watching them do all these horrible things and like they're oblivious or not. I'm like talking to people that, they thought I was an idiot. They didn't realize what my job was that I did, or anything. and they did what they had to do and shit. Maybe one day we'll talk about that, but getting back to this woman right here, yeah, I felt a certain way when she uh, made this seconds long PSA and shit because I don't feel like she's being uh, intellectually or emotionally honest with whoever she thinks she's talking to and whatnot while she's sitting up here wearing a disguise and whatnot. Sometimes I like to call it the white woman disguise and whatnot because underneath that fake hair is hair like mine. It's curly, tight, curly hair. And without that, uh, however much makeup she has and eyeshadow and lashes and whatnot, her skin tone might be somewhat like mine and whatnot. And underneath her clothing, what there is of it and shit, I would assume that there's a basic standard body with some pockets of fat and maybe a fupa, or the beginnings of a fupa. And maybe she has some little attributes. Maybe she has just enough ass to think she has a big ass and that somebody would be looking at it. They present sexually all the time and shit. This is their value, even though they say they're the most educated. Okay, most educated, but yet most oppressed and underrepresented and abused and attacked and everything. While they're doing it and whatnot, it's a sad reality of systemic emotional abuse and narcissism and shit on a massive scale across one ethnic group. It is what has kept us from evolving further. Okay, we reached a point and we stopped evolving. We start devolving and shit. And the minority majority can look at themselves in the mirror. Right? There's a reason for this and whatnot. But they know what they were doing and whatnot. Okay? They know what they were doing. They wanted to retard an entire ethnic group and they succeeded and shit. It's a turnkey business and whatnot. Watching black women fuck their children up and shit and fuck themselves up and destroy their bodies and shit and destroy their minds with all this extrasensory, social engineering. All right? Yes, I'm aware. I'm highly self-aware and shit. I'm somewhat of a Kaiser Soze and shit in my community of that I am invisible to them and shit, but they are not invisible to me. And I don't feel any kind of way when I see, black women fucking up and shit and destroying themselves and destroying their community and shit. Because, as men, if you want to solve this problem and shit, you're going to have to take a bullet. All right? I want to clarify what I mean when I say that men are going to, black men, us, all of us, kings and everything. I want to clarify what I mean when I say you're going to have to take a bullet and whatnot. What I mean by that is that you are going to have to be brutally honest, okay, and selfish to a T, to a fault, okay? You are not going to succeed leaving things the way they are and whatnot. And one of the things that you can start doing is being emotionally and clinically honest with these women when they come in your path and whatnot, and listening to them and understanding what they're saying and whatnot. They're transactional. They're completely transactional. There's nothing organic left, nothing emotional, nothing spiritual. And that's how you move and whatnot. Okay, they want to be coin operated. It's your choice to put a coin in. I myself, I don't do business with people that spit in my face, nor should you. Okay? One of the reasons we had a run on the borders of our supposed ethnic community by other groups, other what they call people of color. They came in and made their dime and shit in our communities. There was no united front. There was no chamber of commerce they had to go through in our community to set up there and shit. And this is not what that's about. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to be as basic and clinical as possible when I tell you about saving yourself, black men. Okay? Saving yourself and whatnot. The woman picture here is one of many. Her numbers are legion and whatnot. Okay? They hate you and they don't even know why. It's just something they do. And they teach their daughters to do this shit too. From the moment they're born. They teach their daughters and whatnot to do this, to be distrustful, duplicitous and dangerous to the men of their group, not males, okay? Not males, okay? When you hear any, Miss Sandra's black female using the term male and whatnot, it's basically used as a slur, you know. It's their way of calling us the N word with a hard R, okay? What they do, they can't stop, okay? But we do have the ability to course correct and whatnot because we are the most oppressed ethnic group, even within our own, ethnicity, gender wise. Black men have been taught to carry the load, And like a Atlas from Greek mythology, you're carrying a fucking mountain on your shoulders in perpetuity and shit, across generations and whatnot, while they sit there and whine and bitch like little children and decry what they do and don't have, what they never would have under any normal circumstances. And they bring and offer nothing. They bring nothing into your circle. Right? And that circle is that metaphorical table shit. They have nothing to bring but a hole there. All right? What can I do? Can you put a hole on top of a fucking table? You can put one through a fucking table, which is what happens when you get involved with them. Everything of merit goes into that hole and shit. It's a black hole. Yeah, you have to move accordingly and shit. Okay, Kings? All right? Now, I give you 3 simple rules and shit. It's simply because I care, okay? I'm not here to, present myself as some paragon of virtue. I'm just a regular guy. And, I give you these 3 rules and whatnot. They're very simple rules that you can use and you can build upon. 3 tenets you can build upon to save yourself from a horrible fate, right? And to change the course of our people, on a personal level, on an interpersonal level, social and spiritual level, you can change things, okay? Right? And it doesn't involve these women, right? They don't have to be a part of anything and whatnot. Their participation is not required. Their compliance is not required, right? So, I'm going to give you these 3 rules, and then I'm out, okay? So, here we go. If you're one of my viewers, one of my regular day 1 subscribers, you already know what I'm about to say. All right. Number 1, keep your head on a swivel at all times. Keep your head on a swivel. Number 2, protect your bag. Okay, that's your money. That's your tangible assets and your seed and whatnot. Okay, because this is what they want more than anything else. Is that middle number 2 point and whatnot. They want your assets and whatnot. They want to use it for their own interests, period and otherwise and whatnot. And you are not a part of the equation once they get it out of your cold dead hands if need be through proxy violence. Alright? Protect your bag. And above all else, and most important, why it's number 3, you do not make fallen women the stewards of your family. Okay? All right, what that means is, having them in your home, in your circle, having them with access to your finances and whatnot, and access to you personally, your time and whatnot. You have to be very serious about it. So, like I say, that number 3 is very important. Do not make fallen women. And they are fallen if they're not under a man's guidance. Everything else is against the natural order. Right? Do not make fallen women the stewards of your family. Especially do not make fallen women the mothers of your children. Whatnot is the most horrific thing that can happen to a man. That women have full and complete dominance over their children and whatnot, because they can make those children a parody of what you are, of who you are as a person. It's your legacy. Okay? They can say that they give life to these children and everything, and they can't do anything without a seed. Okay? One of their misandrous leaders, Ebony K. Williams, had to go to a sperm bank to find a way to impregnate herself with sperm from someone she never had any kind of organic connection with. And that child that she's going to have is going to have so many fucking problems. All right? So that's why we say do not make fallen women the mothers of your children and whatnot. Okay? All right? Your children are your future, they're your legacy. And you got to take care of that, man. Regardless of whatever you have in the bank or whatever you have in life and whatnot, you have to take care of yourself. Okay? Do not make fallen women the mothers of your children. Alright? SYSBM means save yourself, black man. Quite simply, save yourself, black man. All praise to the Most High.
Harry had THC in her system. Oh.
That fucking Captain America shit. I keep doing this shit all day.
Crazy. They call that institutionalized, too sweet. Institutionalized. And I'm it. So keep your far best dreams to yourself. And if the lieutenant and his brother-in-law by some miracle can convince the board to turn you loose, or if some young lady would come up and live with you for a week, don't tell me when you're going. Don't tell me when you're coming back. Don't bring no fucking drawers in here for me to sniff. Don't tell me a goddamn thing. Cause if I can't have it all, I don't want any of it. And I'm for real, too sweet.